The following is a production of cprundown.com. The views and opinions expressed by the hosts of this podcast are those of the individual and not of any affiliated companies. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rundown on Fun, a weekly podcast covering the Cedar Fair Entertainment Company, the amusement industry, and the business of fun. Here are your hosts, Karsten Anderson, Evan Schultz, and Kyle Huth.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the Rundown on Fun, a weekly podcast where we cover Cedar Fair, Cedar Point, and everything to do with fun. So, it's been 2 weeks. Did we record last week?
I think it's been 2 weeks.
Like a week and a half, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, we did promise that we would try to do twice a month during the off season, so we'll hit that this month.
Yeah.
We hit our quota.
Yeah, it's just, when the main park that you talk about on a podcast is closed, you kind of run out of things to talk about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, interesting things, because, I mean, we could talk about, like, how pavement and how long it takes for cement to set, but I don't think that'd be very interesting, so...
Hey, if you look at the webcams, it looks like there's some new cement by Steel Vengeance.
Right,
Awesome.
For sure.
Yeah, no, that is not something we want to do. But fear not, we're back this week. We have a lot of cool stuff to talk about. Shouldn't really be a super long show, but it'll be a good one nonetheless.
That long show that we did actually had like 200. I looked at the stats. Actually had 200 listeners plus. So
Well, thank you guys.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
A little disclaimer: if you are listening to this podcast not live, like after we've recorded it, go back and watch the Facebook Live part, because there are a couple things that we're going to do at the end that are visual only. So if you don't get to watch it, you'll just hear us talk about it, which is fine. But if that's something you actually want to see, go back and skip to the end where we start talking about it.
Yeah,
for sure.
All right, so like we mentioned in the beginning, life moves on during the winter, and construction is moving on very quickly on the boardwalk. And is the Wild Mouse almost done? Did I see that? I'm not super closely following it.
So I've been and I know Karsten, you have too. I've been pretty closely following it, and from what you can see on the webcam, it's like the lift hill needs to go in, and that's it. So we're getting really, 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 really close to construction being done. Obviously, testing isn't going to start anytime soon, but construction of the track should be done soon. And Karsten has some theories about why they're moving so ridiculously quick, because I feel like they could have gotten this done in April. But
yeah, obviously you're going to have your control system and your computer system, so that'll take probably a month, I'd say, probably to install and figure out what's going on with what. But those are
different people than the actual physical.
Yeah. So this is moving at rapid speed. Evan and I, we've been talking a little bit off air, and we're just this coaster. I thought this coaster probably would sit almost kind of dormant until probably I don't know, early March, and then they start
we see how quick it can go up.
Right, it's a very quick, you just got to pour the concrete slab, put the track pieces together, very tiny footprint, nothing crazy or anything, and it'd be done in probably about a month or so, right? But my theory is, and this is just
spitballing,
right? Just spitballing, and I'm sharing it with all of you guys. But I honestly kind of maybe think they're wanting to get all of this done because they've got bigger things. Right, track work wise. I'm thinking that they're wanting to get this done possibly to work on Top Thrill Dragster. That's just literally what I'm thinking.
That is an interesting theory.
Right? Because, it's a construction company that puts, the rides together. And if there's rumor that Zamperla might be working on it. And if that's the case, obviously they're going to want their crew there. But I don't think Zamperla themselves is actually putting this together. I think they have an actual...
I'm sure they subcontract it out.
Yes. So it's possible that they might be just trying to get all this track work done, everything done. And just to back this up, Evan, I told you yesterday that they were working on Sunday and Sunday afternoon, and they worked until 6 p.m. They've been working on the weekends too. They're working.
They're rushing.
They're working 7 days a week. And so if it's for Top Thrill Dragster or if it's for maybe who knows, maybe it's
a project somewhere else, maybe.
Right. So it's extremely interesting, and definitely watch the webcams and watch Tony's posts on
he posted an update today
on Twitter. But yeah, so and you can see it. Look, I'm sorry, I think it looks freaking phenomenal in that area.
It does.
The color, I love. Sorry, it makes me think like Nickelodeon, 100%, like just 100%.
Okay,
but it's going to look good in that area.
This isn't even on our show notes, but I really want to quickly mention: did everybody see what Kennywood's doing with Cosmic Chaos?
Yes,
I love it. Orange and lime green.
Yep.
Nickelodeon.
Yep. Orange and lime green's the color scheme to go I guess this year. But yeah, so definitely keep an eye on it, and we'll definitely or watch it, and
we'll keep posting on Facebook, even though apparently there's a single person that really doesn't like us doing that.
Right.
Is there actually? Sure. Have we been getting yelled at?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Because we have nothing better to do apparently than post about Wild Mouse, even though that's what our page is about.
Well, I guess they have nothing better to do than watch our page, huh?
Literally.
I mean, they like the page, so I guess we're doing something right.
Yeah.
You know what? If they're listening, let's invite them on the show. I want to talk to them.
And you know who you are. This is your formal invitation. Come on the show and talk to us why you hate us so much.
Or just hate the park and hate the ride and think that we're talking negative about the ride, even though we're like super excited about it. So yeah.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yes.
If you want a really dramatic episode of the Rundown and Fun, let's get this person on.
That's when we'll have to charge for it.
Well, when we're literally we're running out of things to talk about.
Yeah, and if you have nothing better to do than watch the park webcams, maybe you were keeping an eye on what happened down in my neck of the woods this past week at the International Association of Amusement Parks and Attractions Expo.
Is that what that stands for?
Yeah, International Association of Amusement Parks and Attractions. Their yearly expo down here in Orlando every year. I didn't go, and if you guys are really curious as to why I didn't go, I feel very strongly about it, but I'm not going to get into it right now. But anyway, it's basically the yearly trade show of everything amusement parks, where manufacturers announce new projects, parks make deals, anything that happens in the music industry comes out of the show, be it the guy that sells cotton candy or the people that build the rides. Everything is there.
Yeah.
And something that we normally see is when a ride is announced for the next year, they unveil the lead car at IAAPA. And we saw was it the cheese car was unveiled?
It was the cheese car.
The cheese car. Yep. And we saw a nice little picture of Tony Clark sitting right there in the front.
Not going to lie. Looks very,
I'd be happy too.
Very jealous.
Yeah, it's a block of cheese.
Yeah.
It looks cool.
Real talk though, I think it is super cool and very awesome that the cars are ADA friendly.
Yeah.
I think that is really cool that they are being inclusive like that. I mean, that's awesome. So
that's also going to speed up the ops too. Like, I mean, if all the cars are just like that, you just open that door and just whoop,
Yeah, I mean, even non-ADA reasons, it's going to be super quick, unload, load. So I
think it was around like 16. No, I think it was like 800 people, 800 people per hour or so.
A Wild Mouse,
600 to 800 people per hour.
Yeah,
so
Wild Mouse coasters usually don't have the best capacity, but from what I read, it didn't sound terrible.
No, yeah.
I mean, it's probably gonna be better than Maverick. So
yeah, they're saying in the chat, they're like, hopefully there's gonna be like fast lane for it.
This is gonna be fast lane like Super Plus.
There is no way that this coaster does not open with some kind of fast lane option.
Yeah. There's definitely gonna be some fast lane.
So if you spent the $1,000 for your all season fast lane, you can sleep easy at night.
Just a little bit about this coaster. It's cool that your ride isn't 100% always going to be the same. It just depends on how many friends you have with you in each of those cars. Because
if you don't have any friends, you get a really spinny ride.
Right, Kyle, you want to ride with me, and we'll go get some big guys and
yeah, rides like that live or die based on
balance it out.
Yeah,
the weight distribution on those things is everything. You know, if
you guys should sit on one end, like next to each other, and then skip a seat, and I'll sit on the other.
Well, you're the mechanical, engineer kind of guy, so maybe you can figure out the
perfect
weight.
like.
You'd be like, all right, well, what are you guys' weight?
We can figure this out. In this seat.
Yeah, it's the same kind of ideas like Tumbili or those like SNS 40 free flies.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Or like Slingshot. You know, if you're not balanced right, you flip a lot, but if you're pretty well balanced, it's kind of a tame ride. So I guess if you're worried about like spinning too much and getting motion sickness, try to balance out the weight because you probably won't spin as much.
Right.
For sure.
But no, I think the progress is coming along really good. It's super cool that we saw the train unveilings. I know we saw some other train unveilings too.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about it.
There was a lot of them. So in the Cedar Fair realm, there was Zambezi Zinger, which I'm looking at.
I think wins the entire trade show for car design. That was
You think that one?
I think
that was just out of the blue, out of left field. I wasn't expecting a whole lot with that.
Yeah. I'm really excited to see these new GCI trains actually in action, and they look really cool.
Are these any different than Millennium Flyers?
They're similar to Millennium Flyers, but they're like Millennium Flyer 2.0.
Okay. Hey, Evan, do you want to describe what the trains kind of look like? So
they look like
kind of paint a picture.
I guess so. Obviously, the theme that they're going for, being that this is in the African section of the park, is like off-road Jeep type thing. Mm-hmm. So, the lead car has like kind of a leopard print type thing, and it has it says Safari 1 on it. So I'm going to guess instead of saying Train 1, it's like, I don't know, kind of cheesy, but it's cool. It's cute. And I don't know, the seats just look super comfy, and the lap bars look awesome and roomy. I don't know, it looks like a Jeep, and it says Zambezi Zinger on it, and it's got like leopard print. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Looks really, I think it looks great.
And then, not in the Cedar Fair world, but we have to talk about it, is the Wildcats Revenge car from Hershey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that one wins. That looks awesome. With the, Wildcat, whichever type of Wildcat you want it to be, just like bursting out of the front of the train. That looks super cool. I'm really excited to see these in person.
They're definitely putting, it looks like the manufacturers and also parks seem to be putting a lot more money into just putting more theming and more whatever stuff that you can put on there and make
just
the
making
trains
things look cool instead of the cheap,
really cool.
The cheap plastic Batman ride, Ultimate the Ride Goliath thing.
Right, right, and I think that's great. I think it gives the ride more of a personality. Mm-hmm. And it also jumps right into theming. Like, you could really have, honestly, I think about theming, and if you really don't have a whole lot of theming around your ride, but you've got a really kick butt coaster car,
sleek, and
that's just gonna make me think exactly what they're trying to make me think, that I'm on a safari. So,
and then Pipeline, the surf coaster.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
It looks like a giant surfboard.
And it's it's way more open than I expected it to be.
It's huge too. It is massive.
Yeah. I also feel like those trains probably are going to weigh a lot, and the ride might be a little slow because of it, but it's fine.
I don't know. Every time I go to SeaWorld, they have more of that ride built. I mean, they're cranking along.
Yeah, they're really moving quick.
They're probably trying to get. They're not trying to be like a park that has Six Flags and likes to open them
August.
Right.
Well, they're also trying not to be themselves from 2020 and 2020.
Yeah.
Well, they're probably trying to get it done, I would think. Maybe, Kyle, I don't know. You could attest to this, but maybe by spring break, late spring break?
Yeah,
probably.
So they are claiming an open in early spring. So to me, that says April.
Perfect.
Yeah.
But I tell you, it's coming along. We were over there on Saturday. Friendly neighborhood announcer, or no, it was Sunday. Was it Sunday? I don't know. One of the days this weekend, friendly neighborhood announcer Justin was in town, because it seems like he's in my town more than his.
Yeah. He was also in NYC randomly recently.
Yeah. So he came over and we did Universal for half a day, and then we went over and did Mako at SeaWorld and then left. And from the last time I had been to SeaWorld 2 weeks ago, they've added another 200 feet of track. So they're just plugging away at that thing.
Yeah, and it's not that's just like Wild Mouse. It's not a super long ride, so it's not.
And plus, it's kind of low to the ground per se, and it's not
like
you don't have to get like a 200-foot crane or have to get multiple cranes and stuff.
Yeah,
so
pretty much just follow the line.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, I'm really excited, and spinning it back to Cedar Fair, I'm really excited to see how successful this is because I really think this is something Cedar Fair should look at for some of their parks.
Right. Seeing that train, I've been like, Rougarou can't go back to that. It's got to be, I think, a brand new. I think it's got to be a brand new coaster.
I mean, they don't need the capacity. So.
I was surprised to see that we didn't see anything. I mean, I know Zamperla was pretty tied up, but we didn't see anything for Kings Island's new section.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I know, I know
we'll be able to get some updates because Winterfest starts in 4 days. So
yeah, you know, Winterfest starts in 4 days, and I added this to the rundown after we started recording. But Winterfest tickets are on sale for like $20 right now.
Oh, that's a good deal.
Really good
wow.
Sale.
Yeah, I don't know how long that's gonna last, but they're on sale.
That's a good deal. So you could almost, if you want like a crazy Christmas gift idea, you could gift those tickets to somebody. And then you guys can go to Winterfest like right after Christmas.
So the offer ends the 24th. I don't know if that means you have through the 24th, which is Thanksgiving, or what. But
that's wow.
So buy it. I would say buy it by the end of Wednesday.
Yeah, that's a good little plug. Good stuff.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that earlier today, and then someone actually, because I'm monitoring the live comments, and someone actually let us know that it's happening.
Cool. Thank you, person.
Yeah. So things definitely seem to be going pretty well for Cedar Fair. Somewhere that can't say the same is the Walt Disney Company.
Now we should say we're a Cedar Fair podcast, but like we have to talk about this. This is like the biggest news.
Well, this is huge because you got to think that it's going to change like
a lot of change the amusement. It could change the amusement industry.
I mean, and that affects Cedar Point and all the Cedar Fair parks. I mean, it's a big deal. So
Kyle, you're a resident Disney person, so talk us through this.
It is my hometown park. Tonight as we record at 8:42, if I looked out my window in 18 minutes, I could watch Epcot fireworks. So
cool.
Maybe we can just point your webcam over there and we can all watch the fireworks.
Yeah, if not, I'm burning a candle over here so we can look at that too. But
there we go.
So late last night, it came out that current CEO Bob Chapek resigned or stepped down, and that former CEO Bob Iger, is reprising his role, if you care to say so, at Disney as the CEO. He was the CEO for 15 years, from 2005 to 2020, and he has been with the Disney Company for over 40 years.
Wow.
Wasn't he after Eisner?
He was directly after Eisner. During his previous tenure, he acquired properties like Lucasfilm, Pixar, 21st Century Fox, so he's kind of been the acquisitions guy. Yeah, Marvel. How can I forget about that? He made the company a lot of money when he was in charge. And something that some Disney CEOs do, but others don't, is he still put quite a bit of effort into the creative side of things. And he has already said that he wants to kind of reposition the company as of currently, from going to a not so creative thing to more of a creative standpoint, which is what they're known for. So I think that's really cool. Before we talk about this some more, we should say some things about Bob Iger. I wasn't a huge fan of him, but I will be the first to give credit where credit is due. He maneuvered Disney through unprecedented times, through COVID and the whole revenge travel movement and everything like that. So while I don't think he did great, he was a very important part for...
You're talking about Iger or Chapek?
Chapek.
Okay, you said Iger before. I was like, wait.
Sorry. Yeah. So Chapek came in February of 2020. It's like right before the pandemic. And then he kind of maneuvered them through COVID and the park reopenings. And I like to call it revenge travel, where everybody is, was cooped up inside and they want to come out and take vacations again.
We saw that with Cedar Point.
Yeah. So while not my favorite CEO, credit where credit is due always.
I'm sure that was extremely challenging, and I'm sure there was a lot of things going on behind the scenes that we'll never know. But so
Bob Iger has agreed to come back for a probationary term of 2 years while the company searches for a new CEO. Because Iger, I mean, he's been with the company forever, and he is a familiar face, and by all accounts, he did wonderful things for the company and the theme parks alike. He is old. He is in his early 70s, and he's not getting any younger. So kind of while they're searching for like that perfect fit CEO, he's going to come in and kind of run things again. He got brought back in,
kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of right the ship. So previously, during his CEO tenure, his base salary was $47.5 million, and that is not including bonuses. That is not including stock options. That is just base salary. Coming back, he agreed to do this job for $1 million a year, with the caveat that all of that extra money from his salary and the money that he's going to be saving the parks gets redirected back into the company to give all of the cast members a living wage, which I think is really cool.
Oh my God, that is awesome.
That's great.
He's giving up, like $46 million to make sure that the cast members have a living wage. I think that's really
so
cool.
Awesome. Yeah.
So you put in your application and you're going for the CEO job, or
yeah, in 2 years it might be time. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, but he started back at headquarters in Burbank today, and I'm a little more wrapped up in this because I do live here, and it's all that my Twitter timeline is. But everyone is very excited to see him back. He did some great things for the parks. Everything that he did was kind of IP based, but I mean, still, he did some awesome things for the theme parks.
I mean, the stock was up like $6 today. So
yeah, I don't think there is a more loyal fan base out there than the Disney Parks fan base. It is not cheap to come into these parks, and some of their biggest fans do it year after year. And I think they have been one of the most hurt fan bases because of the way that Bob Chapek was running these parks.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily see any immediate changes, but I mean, I think we will see changes in the park. He already came out and said that he is going to be running things from a creative point of view because that is what they're known for. So that's cool.
So when you say creative point of view, you're saying creative point of view as opposed to what was Chapek's point of view?
Chapek's point of view was we have these parks, they're already here. People are going to pay to come to them, whether we upkeep them or add new things or not.
Okay.
So
is that why? Can that explain why Tron has just been a 5-year project?
Yes and no. There's
That's Disney just being slow.
Yeah, there's some other things going on there, but more so like nickel and diming people. So like the Fast Pass system, which you always used to hear about, was free.
Now it's the Genie Plus, Lightning Lane.
Genie Plus, and today for the first week of first day of Thanksgiving week, one of the busiest weeks of the year, it's $29 a day.
But also, I've heard it's like super complicated and super in depth of like trying to figure everything out, and it shouldn't be that.
Seems like that's something that has only happened since Chapek has been in. So maybe that's something Iger is going to kind of reel back in.
And granted, a lot of the policies that are still here that people don't like are kind of a result of COVID that haven't really gone away yet.
Park reservations,
stuff like that. But the app is very confusing to use. I used to know how to use that app so well because we came down here every year, and I moved here in July, and it took me like a month to relearn everything, and that's even with knowing like how tech works.
Having prior,
yeah,
for sure.
Well, I mean, aside from the fact I'm a broke college student, just hearing about how complicated it is to go to Disney and get to ride everything you want to ride. I mean, we've heard it talked about, you can go to Disney and not get on Rise of the Resistance. You could go to Disney and not get on Guardians. And it's just like, I don't want to go while that's...
And it's like the ticket is like $200,
Yeah, like I want to be able to, if I want to buy the fast lane, I want to be able to buy the fast lane and go ride the ride when I want to ride the ride and not have to, I got to get up at 7 a.m. and get this reservation. But I actually have to still be up till midnight so I can make sure I have the ability to get the reservation. And what?
Yeah.
Like,
So
that's not Disney.
yeah, I definitely think we'll see some more streamlined process in there, because it is not a relaxing vacation. It's very stressful. Before I go any farther, I'm kind of looking over my notes that I have written down. This morning, Disney gained the stock valuation gained $12 billion in value from when this announcement was made to when the trading opened this morning.
Yep.
And shares jumped over 10%.
Yep.
JPEG's sitting at home like, dang.
Yeah. Oh, and I guess I should say he took a $25 million severance package. That is what the board of directors paid him to quietly leave.
Well, there you go.
Interesting.
Hopefully, it doesn't become the next CEO of Six Flags.
Yeah. I think
Salim out, shape again.
I think a lot of it too is people are just the current Disney product that is being given to fans is not the Disney product that people know. And Iger is a familiar face who has been with the company for over 40 years and knows how to run the company, not just the parks. So I think it's a lot of like, we can breathe again. We're alive.
Not to be cliche, but bring the magic back.
Exactly.
Because it was definitely gone.
Yeah, so I'm definitely interested to see how this all plays out. One of the biggest things I think we'll see is annual pass sales returning. Right now, unless you are a Florida resident, you cannot buy an annual pass. And even if you are a Florida resident, you have to buy the lowest tier, which is blocked out on the weekends. You can only go Monday through Friday.
And apparently this week, too.
Yes. Peak periods. So weekends, Thanksgiving, Christmas, spring break.
So they give you like, hey, you could go this Saturday at least. Like there's a couple Saturdays here and there.
It is all Monday through Friday.
Jesus, that sucks.
Last week we saw annual pass prices, like the pricing structure return, but they weren't going on sale yet. But then like 2 days ago, Disneyland started selling theirs. And the whole reason that Disney World stopped was because Disneyland was getting sued because of their park reservation system, because people were buying passes and then trying to go, and they were all sold out, so they couldn't. But now that Disneyland's selling them again, I bet we'll see that change pretty quick.
I almost wonder if Disneyland putting them on sale a couple days ago might have been an accident. Like, oh, Iger's coming back. Oh, we weren't supposed to say that.
It might have been. I wouldn't put it past them.
I did read something. I don't know how official this is, but I did read something that they did start talking probably like 2 or 3 days before the announcement that to get him out, kind of thing. So that maybe, I don't know.
So it is interesting times at the Walt Disney Company for sure, and I'll be watching really closely. So you two will always be informed of what's going on. We might talk about this again. We might not, but I'm very optimistic for the future of the parks.
Well, now it seems more likely I'll be able to like financially and mentally be able to handle going there. So maybe we'll have a trip report sooner than me.
Speaking of trip reports, you went to Busch Gardens, Williamsburg.
Yes, I did, which was actually not this past weekend. It was the weekend before.
Yeah, we haven't recorded in a while. That was my bad.
2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks ago was our last recording, so I went the following weekend.
I have been busy, but just all good.
So what is that? I was at Busch Gardens the 12th, and we are recording here on the 21st. So, anywho, when we last talked, there was worry that I was going to get screwed by Hurricane Nicole.
Yes.
Is that her name?
Yes.
That was nothing, man. It was just a rainstorm.
Well, so we left Friday afternoon. I drove what should be an 8-hour drive. It turned into a 10-hour drive because the rain was that bad through like southern Ohio, eastern Ohio, and like all of Pennsylvania. It was horrible. The fog
going through those mountains and everything with that rain.
We came through a tunnel on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, and it was like you couldn't see 30 feet ahead of you.
Wow.
It was not a pleasant drive. I was so stressed the entire time.
I've driven that in like the snow and the fog and rain, and it sucks.
Yeah, and not to mention it was like 40 degrees out. But then we get into like Virginia. It clears up. we're watching the temperature, like the outside temperature display in the car. It's just climbing and climbing and climbing. We get to Fredericksburg, Virginia. That was our first stop. There's a little FEC there called Funland of Fredericksburg.
Yeah, that is. I'm not going to cut you off, but that is Clint Novak's FEC. You know who Clint Novak is?
Yeah, I found that out. Yes.
Okay.
I know of him. I found that out during IAAPA week because I saw.
Oh, that's so cool! I didn't even realize that when you sent those pictures. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, he's the general manager there.
I saw him post on the Funland of Fredericksburg page on Facebook, like, "Hey, we're buying this new ride." I was like, "Wait a minute! I was literally just there." So they only have one of those SBF Visa. A Twist and Shout, is that the model name? The little figure 8 spinning coaster that's at like Scene 75 in Columbus. So didn't know that was ever there, so I had to get my credit. So we stopped there. It was like 75 degrees out. Granted, this is an indoor park, but it was like, oh my god, this is awesome. So we stopped there, had some dinner, and then continued on to Williamsburg so that Saturday we could go to Busch Gardens for Christmas Town, but not really. It was Christmas Town preview, but I do think they were pretty much ready. And it was a beautiful, sunny, 75-degree day in the middle of November. And Kyle, you already pretty much, we talked through Busch Gardens pretty at length, but I got to talk about two things. One, in the Christmas Town thing. So I don't really I like the Winterfest. I like Christmas lights, but it's not like I don't bend over backwards to go see them, and I'm not usually super crazy impressed by them. And Busch Gardens was kind of less is more with their lights. Like Kings Island kind of really beats them, and that's the only other winter event I've done. Well, Carson, you and I did Taste of the Season. Carson, remember how the lights were at Carowinds that year? It was like, this is kind of not a lot of lights.
Yeah, they were like, there's cool lights that are hanging from the trees.
That's kind of how Busch Gardens was. Except if you're familiar with the ride Escape from Pompeii, they just blanket that ride, and I'm sure there's pictures like crazy on the internet of
That's their water flume, right? Like the shoots. Okay.
Yes, love that ride. But so obviously it's closed at this time of year, even though it was warm enough to ride it. And they just blanket it in really bright, crystal white lights. It is I can't even put it into words. It's breathtaking coming around that corner and seeing that. And they have super loud, but impactful music playing. It's like, holy crap. It is just it's all you see when you pull in the parking lot is the outline of coasters and then this bright thing coming from the middle of the park. It is crazy. I mean, I sent you guys the pictures, and that doesn't even do it justice.
That might be really the Eiffel Tower kind of thing.
Yeah,
Christmas
but
kind of thing.
It's just holy crap.
That's cool.
But, yeah. So that was the highlight of the lights. We're not show people, so we didn't do that. Yeah. And being that it's a Christmas event, they were open 2 to 10, but being that it's a Christmas event and it's a Saturday, there's it's kind of a quick day.
Was it busy?
Yes, that was what I was just about to say. When it's a quick day and there's not a whole lot of rides open anyways, you spend a lot of time waiting in line for rides.
When I went, it was not more than a 1-train wait for anything.
Yeah, so everything had its two trains running.
That's good.
But it was only Apollo's Chariot, Verbolten, Invader, and Pantheon. So everything had over an hour wait most of the day. Except Apollo's Chariot was
and that was 30 minutes. That was your first time riding Pantheon, right?
First time riding Pantheon. Far from my first time being there, though.
No, yeah.
So, anyways, we've talked about Apollo and Verbolten and all that fun rides. Pantheon. Oh my god!
It is
Kyle,
very good.
When you said that you were excited to hear what I had to say about it because you were pretty blown away by it. I've ridden almost 400 coasters now.
Nerd.
And it is, yeah, I know. I think that was my 370th credit or something.
You could walk around IAAPA with your little necklace and say, "I've ridden 400 coasters."
Yeah. I'll get Oh my god.
But you liked it. You loved it.
It is rare at this point in my life that I come off a coaster just jaw dropped, and that's what Pantheon did to me. The whole backwards sequence with the air, the crazy ejector air time going backwards, and then blown away. Like that is a top 10 coaster, maybe top 5.
That backwards airtime.
So good.
That backwards airtime is such a weird sensation, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, and of course our first ride was at night in the front seat. So,
okay.
I mean, we had the perfect experience.
It sounds like I need to get there because you guys are making me jealous.
Yes.
I'll go back.
Buy a pass.
Don't let me lead the way because my biggest takeaway from that park is it is confusing as hell. But
it is very confusing.
I know that park very well now. I could be your tour guide.
Okay.
And my eyes I only have direction for Pantheon at this point. I could spend my whole day in Italy.
You're like, what's that coaster? You're like, no, Pantheon. What's that? No, Pantheon. Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't listening super closely to your list of open rides, but was Alpengeist on that list?
No.
Okay.
It was of the big rides. It was Mach Tower, the drop tower.
Mach Tower? I thought that was closed.
Yeah, they just decided to randomly open it, even though the big rumor is it's going to get torn out here in like a week.
Okay, cool. Continue.
Yeah, random. I didn't ride it because I hate that ride. I love drop towers, but it's like the worst.
Okay.
It is so freaking slow going up the Diggum thing, and it's just so claustrophobic.
You're sitting there literally like this. It's terrible.
Yep. I don't know why they decided to have that manufacturer build that drop tower, but yeah, there's another rant for another day. But yeah.
Yeah, terrible. And then their version of Skyhawk called Finnegan's Flyer, which is super cool because it goes over the river, so it seems like you're way higher than
that was under construction last time I was there.
Okay.
And
then coaster-wise, it was the Grover's Alpine Express, the family coaster.
Yeah.
Apollo's Chariot, Pantheon, Invader, and Verbolten. Okay. So there was no Griffin, no Tempesto, and no Alpengeist.
Wow.
Which I was sad about because I really like those rides.
I was just interested because I gave the really glowing review of Alpengeist of how smooth it was. I'm wondering if I had a super good day.
I've always hated that ride, but I rode it.
I've ridden it, and it was smooth, but it was the mid-course brake run literally stops you. It stopped you.
It didn't do that for me.
What the heck? Like, why did we stop?
Yeah,
and it was a normal thing. Like I was like, well, maybe there was an issue. No, it was normal. It was like stop and then slow roll through the rest of that course, and you're like, what in the heck? So,
I've ridden that ride probably 10 times in my life, and only the very last time I rode it, which was last summer, I actually was like, hey, that's a really good ride. So maybe it's on the upswing.
So is Pantheon going to be open for all of their like Christmas Town?
It's at least open through Christmas Town. I don't think they're year round anymore.
They're not.
So I'm going to assume it'll just close in January with the rest of the park and then reopen in March.
All right, so we got to get Karsten on it before the end of the year.
I'll go back. No, I won't. It's so expensive to go there.
I have the pass now. I'm good.
I actually, really weird story, but like, what was it 2 years ago that ride was built that I said I was there last? I bought one of those season pass things, and I've been having it renew every single month. So I've got a season pass to that park.
You're just throwing money to SeaWorld and you don't even... Whatever.
I actually don't think my pass includes that park. So if we end up going back, I'll have to upgrade it.
Yeah, and let's do it. If you buy a day ticket, it's like $100.
I mean, I want to go to Carowinds because I want to ride Fury, but I don't know about the one train up that I heard that's happening at...
Well, and Busch Gardens is like 5 hours away. It's not
true.
That
it's not horrible, but it's a little bit of a drive. But
I don't. But moral of the story: Pantheon is top 10 easily.
That's awesome.
Maybe top 5. It is. Yeah, and then fun little. I don't think anybody outside. I don't know. I only heard of this park like 2 years ago. There's a park in Maryland, near Frederick, Maryland, named Adventure Park USA.
I've heard of it.
It looks like your run-of-the-mill like arcade go-kart type place. They have like a couple flat rides, and then they randomly just have a giant ripcord type ride, and then a kiddie coaster, a weird Zamperla traveling coaster that I can't even explain to you. It was fun. And then they have not quite the same ride, but a very, 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 very similar ride to the old Wildcat that was at Cedar Point until 2012 or 2011 or whatever. So it was super fun to ride that again. We
Sounds
stopped
like
there.
Fun Spot.
Kinda, yeah. If
So Fun Spot that
traded
still hasn't
in,
opened their RMC, or maybe they just finally opened their RMC.
I think that's
no,
a
not the
next
one in
year
Georgia.
thing.
Yeah, the Fun Spot. If you traded the Fun Spot in Orlando, they took their two coasters and put the two coasters Adventure Park has. I would say they're the same park.
So did you ride the Wildcat clone?
Yes. So we rode all three of their coasters. Actually, we even rode their kiddie coaster, and that was an embarrassing experience. How small that was. Yeah, I'm surprised the ride ran with us in it, being that it was just two adults on a kiddie coaster. No. Yeah, we rode it. It was, by this time, winter had come. It was like 42 degrees out. We got there at like 1 o'clock, and they had just came over the loudspeaker, and they're like, Adventure Park USA will be closing at 2 o'clock due to weather. So we rode our coasters real quick. They were open. It was like 40 degrees out, and yeah, we were on our way. So yeah, it was really fun. It even had that really hard stop at the end, like Wildcat did. Yeah.
The hard stop.
Yes, they didn't have the ride op standing there going like this as you pull into the brakes. I always remember that about Wildcat.
They're like brace.
Yeah, but they did tell us before the dispatch.
I don't know what am I supposed? Huh?
Yeah.
Brace with? How am I supposed to brace?
Oh crap!
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was fun to ride that again. It was super smooth and fun, and the Zamperla ride, you'd have to look it up. It's called Wild West Express. Very strange.
I'll take your word for it.
So yeah,
it sounds like you had a
great
pretty
little
successful
weekend.
trip.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, it's really nice.
All right,
that sounds great.
Next up, we have the calendar. All right, Carson, you kind of want to talk about that since that's your brainchild?
Yeah, so we finally got some, and Kyle, you're going to go through the pictures, right?
Yes, so I would like to preface...
this is the visual part we were talking about.
Yeah, I would like to preface this by telling you two, you're not going to be able to see this unless you actually get on Facebook and watch the live stream. Everybody else watching is going to be good.
Yep.
But I'm just going to go ahead and switch to the calendar. This is going to show you guys all of the pictures that we took, or the pictures that we picked that our listeners sent in.
Yes, yeah. So, if you're looking for a 2023 calendar and you're looking for, thoughts and images and thinking of warm summer and everything, then you can go over
Except two of the pictures. Two of the pictures are not warm summer.
Well, yeah. I mean, it fits it, though. I mean, if December, I don't want to look at, or January, I don't want to look at a coaster that's like running. I want to see like the coasters in the snow or in the ice, and So we've got a bunch of coasters that we've got Magnum, and we've also got Steel Vengeance. We've also got Raptor and Blue Street.
Magnum, Rougarou.
Yep, and we also have Churro. Churro, our friendly little fuzzy little alpaca. We were able to get a picture. The handler held Churro, and we were able to take a picture. And Millennium Force is actually in the background, which is really cool. But yeah, so if you're looking for a calendar, definitely appreciate it. It goes to help pay the bills for the domain.
Getting a new microphone.
Yeah, getting a new microphone, things like that. They're $17.50 plus shipping. So if you want to add, if you want to have more additional calendars. It's an extra $4 for whatever calendar you want. So you can get, I think it's like $7.99 for FedEx shipping. Is unfortunately that's the cheapest one. But then if you want to order multiples, then you can have an extra $4.
So you can order one for the base price, and then each additional one is only $4.
Right. Well, the calendar is the same price of $17.50, but the shipping drops down to an extra $4. For each individual
you
calendar.
Can save on shipping if you buy.
Right, more. If you want to buy more, you can save on shipping, which is we almost take a loss on that, but people seem to really like it, so that I keep it around. So we don't make a whole lot of it, just to keep the lights on. Definitely doesn't pay the CP Rundown credit card bill that Kyle likes to rack up, but
That's how Kyle moved, actually.
But yeah, if anybody, cprundown.com/store, and you can see every picture. You can see the month and kind of like what the calendar is. Since Cedar Point was able to announce, and also Kings Island announced their opening days, and Churro, we found out Churro's birthday. Those are all actually in the calendar. So it's kind of cool to little placeholders. So
I know before the show offline we talked about we are going to do something special for those who are listening. Is that still happening?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you are listening to this right now, or and obviously when it's
right now.
Let's give it. Let's give it like 48 hours from now.
We'll give it a week.
A week. Okay.
We'll give it a week.
Well,
if you are listening, to this, message the CP Rundown Facebook page, and we will send you a specific code and link to save $1. That's our way of saying thank you for listening to the podcast.
It's a $1, but
and yeah, so you
So
can
if
save
you-
$1 on.
If you message our account by next Monday, November 28th, 2022, by 9:15 p.m., you can save $1 on your calendar.
Yep, it'll be $16.50, and then obviously the $7 for shipping and everything like that. So, or $7.99 for shipping. Sorry.
Yeah,
it's $1, but that's what we can.
Our next visual is something that I kind of put together just because we're kind of growing a little bit of a following, and I love Yeti products. So,
love Yeti.
Yes,
big fan.
I am going to be putting in an order. I'm going to pull it up here for the Rundown on Fun Yeti tumblers. This is what they're going to look like.
This is.
Go ahead.
This merchandise is like limited edition, and we've never offered anything from the Rundown on Fun. So yeah, Kyle, take it away.
We are going to put in one order from these. It's not going to be. It's probably going to be next week. We're going to put in one order. They are $35 a piece. That being said, if we get, I think it's over 10 people that want one. That's including us 3 hosts and a couple other gifts. We are eligible for a group rate, and the price goes down to like, I think $30. So if you're looking for stocking stuffers, or you just really like the podcast, or you need an excuse to buy a new Yeti, and it's something you are seriously interested in, please message us. You're not obligated. Even if you message us, say you're interested, you are not obligated to buy. It's more so just so we can get a count for how many people would actually want these, because I think right now we want like 5 for us 3. And
us 3, Justin's mom.
Yeah. So I don't know if we were supposed to say that, but Mrs. Campbell, if you're listening, we are going to get one of these for you. You will not have to pay anything. It's coming out of our pocket because you are our most loyal supporter. Yes.
Yep. She keeps us in line and she's like, when's that next episode?
Yeah. Literally. Merry Christmas.
Yeah. So
can I just say really quick, for people that don't have the visual that is listening to the podcast, this thing looks freaking sweet. It's got the Rundown on Fun logo, and then it's also got the CP Rundown logo on the other side of it, and it's like a grayish, and then the silver is like, the logos and everything look really, really good. So,
are people that buy this going to have the option to change the colors?
Yes, we are not locked into that color. However, that is the color I'm going to get, so that's just like the preview approved site. I had that mock-up done.
Cool.
If it's not going to be on CP Rundown's website, so if you're interested, message us on CP Rundown Facebook.
This will be facilitated through us. We are not going to post links or anything because, like we said, this is going to be a one-time order just so we can all get our hands on some new coffee cups and stuff like that. They are 20-ounce insulated stainless steel tumblers. I use them every day at work, and I absolutely love them.
I use Yeti all the time. I've got a Yeti cooler. You've obviously got Yeti, and everything. And it looks like Jill, Justin's mom, is listening. So
that's awesome.
I love it. Good stuff.
All right, and then the last kind of self-plug thing we have is we are actually working on a new website. Carson, Carson, I know you kind of started looking at this the other day, and then we decided it's something that we want to do. So if you want to bring that up.
Yeah, we're looking for at doing a brand new website. We want it to be more interactive, I guess you could say. We want the podcast kind of built into it, because now, I mean, that's kind of like, what we're doing, and everything. And we're just gonna step it up a little bit with the graphics and everything. Right now, finally, woohoo! Last night I was finally able to add the podcast to the actual website that's currently available that we've got going on right now. So if you don't want to subscribe on like Apple Podcasts or don't want to whatever, or you just go to the website, it's right on the very, very top of the website, and you just hit the play button, and then it starts playing. And then there's also a cprundown.com/podcast. And then you can look at all of the different episodes on the podcast too. You can download them. You can do whatever you want with them. So
this is probably an off-air question, but I'm just curious. Do you get the does it show you how many people listen to it through that?
It does not.
Oh,
no.
Okay. Just curious.
No, it does not. Maybe when Kyle is putting in all of his cool, fancy-looking buttons and things like that, maybe we can possibly put that on. That'd be kind of cool, actually, showing how many visitors or how many people are listening. I don't know if that's possible, but that'd be kind of cool.
It's definitely possible for us to see it in the back end. Front end, it's probably possible, but yeah. I do work a full-time job, so this is not something that's going to be done overnight. However, it's something that we decided we want to do kind of with a new logo and kind of the rebranding and adding the podcast. We just kind of want to refresh the website.
And I guess a little bit more into detail, we're actually probably going to get rid of a lot of the ride pages, a lot of the food locations and things like that, because you can go to Cedar Point's website and you can go, and they literally they have all of the food pages there. They also have all of like the ride, and they've got POVs of everything. And it's like, why would you come to our page and just look at that? We want to be more personable, and we want to have blogs of like, how to visit the park and when to visit the park and so on and so forth. So we're being more personable, and not just being a copy and paste of the park's website. So. Because back when we first launched this website, the park didn't have stuff like that. I mean, they did to a T, but it was very kind of minute. But now it's like really in depth, shows POVs and so on and so forth. So yeah, look forward to it.
Awesome. And then the only other thing I wrote down to talk about was the coasterradio.com meetup. I know we haven't talked about this a whole lot, but for those of you who don't, you should definitely go listen to coasterradio.com, the original theme park podcast. Mike and EB do an amazing job over there. It's one of the best, most professionally produced podcasts out there. And it's about theme parks, which we all love. They do a yearly meetup.
We can only dream of being them.
Yeah, maybe someday.
I was going to say real quick, jumping in, Kyle. Sorry. I was going to say I wasn't into podcasts at all. And Johnny, one of our friends, told me to listen to it, and I was like, but it's so well done, and it's very professionally done. Like, we're like very like on the low totem pole, and they're like super high. They've got NPH, Neil
Patrick Harris.
He was not there.
He
was not there.
That was there. But Kyle, go for it. You've got the floor now. I'm so sorry.
It is all right. And if you two have questions, feel free to jump in. So yeah, every year they do what they call a listener meetup, where it's kind of like, if the enthusiast club, Great Ohio Coaster Club, Ace, whatever, goes out and puts on an event where they sell tickets. It's kind of that. So if you had a pass to get into Busch Gardens, your ticket was $30. That included ERT, a meal, all that fun stuff. So there were over 100 people at this meetup, which is the biggest for them ever. It was super cool. So we got to the park. We were supposed to have ERT on Iron Gwazi at 9 a.m. Iron Gwazi opened at about 9:20 or 9:30, and we got assigned not like a tour guide, but like I would call him a group sales coordinator, someone who like we were their group and they're taking care of us. They came up to us and they said, "I'm so sorry that the ride opened late. You're still gonna get your hour. But here is a quick queue, an unlimited quick queue, good all day on any ride, plus one ride on Iron Gwazi." So that was super.
And then they still gave you the whole hour on
Gwazi? We still got the whole hour on Gwazi.
Even after, so the park opened at 10, I assume, and you guys still had Gwazi to yourself till like 10:30 or whatever?
Yep, they held the park. They held the regular crowd back a little bit.
That's so cool.
That was super unnecessary, but very much appreciated. Not that it did much on a random Wednesday in November. We had the park to ourselves anyway, but still, just kind of that show of good faith sat really well with a lot of us. And then after ERT, we were supposed to do the ladder climb challenge, where Cedar Point has one of these games where you go up and climb the ladder, and you hit the buzzer, you win a prize. So we were going to do a tournament amongst us of all trying to climb up and hit the button. In typical Busch Gardens fashion, there was nobody there to work the game, so we could not do that. Instead, we did one of the basketball games, like the 3-point shot games. And we actually didn't know what prize we were playing for until that day. But Shikra was closed for maintenance, so it was a little bit of a bummer. And the winners of the tournament got to do a lift walk on Shikra.
That's so cool.
So there were going to be 7 winners.
That's awesome.
Also, in typical...
Did you win?
I did not.
Did you not tell us? Did you win? Did you sink a shot?
I didn't. So you want?
Were you close? Did you hit rim?
I was very close. You want to know the funniest part about this is there were 100 of us. So Mike and AB are thinking, okay, through 100 of them, at least 7 have to make the shot, right? Like at least 7 of them will sink it. Nope. We all went. We all took our first shots. Nobody made anything. So we're 100 shots in the hole. We all do our second shots. Nope. Third shots. Nope. Fourth shots. One person made it. So out of 400 shots, one person made a basket. And it was really funny.
So enthusiasts are very unathletic.
Well, now hold on a minute, because the games attendant came over and they're like, hey, you guys are all trying to bank it in. You can't do that. These rims are oval. The game is rigged. You have to swish it in or else it's not going to go. So she pretty much just flat out told us that the game is rigged.
Probably wasn't supposed to tell you guys that, but it's fine.
Yeah, so Mike was too scared to go to the top, so there were 8 slots. EB took 1, and then 7 winners. So one person won, and then there were 6 spots left. So we just everyone got assigned a number, and then to decide who went up, we just raffled it off, like a random number generator.
Yeah,
I did not win, but I know people who were up there. They said it was really cool, so that's super awesome. That,
not gonna lie, I would have been, if you were like, oh yeah, I got to do it. I'm like, really? I bought raffle tickets. I spent lots of money on that coaster con. Evan got it. Evan spent like $5 and got it.
Yeah.
Somebody gave it to my girlfriend, who gave it to me.
Right. And then Kyle, like, you sink a shot, or like you just randomly get selected and you get another,
Yeah.
or you get a coaster. I'm like, really? I'm just gonna buy my thing right now for next year, because I'm going on Balraven, or I'm going on a coaster, and I'm going on Lift Walk. Dang it.
You gotta get the other dive coaster.
Yeah. So the fact that was free to us was super cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Props to Busch Gardens, man. They took care of you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they kind of set us free, and we were free to do whatever we wanted until lunchtime. And then lunchtime came around, and we had a catered lunch in the Iron Gwazi Pavilion. It was like, typical theme park food, burgers, hot dogs, that kind of stuff, potato salad, like cookout food.
Yep.
It was really good. And then we did the live recording of coasterradio.com, and let me tell you what, it was like a stand-up comedy show. There were tears in my eyes, and my sides hurt from laughing so much. When those two are together in person, they are like stand-up comedians. It was so much fun.
I love it.
And we're going to hear that on their episode from Busch Gardens.
Yeah. You'll hear
eventually,
all yeah, and little plug for them too. If you really like hearing my voice and you can't get enough of it, I'm in that episode like 6 times because EB kept walking around and handing us the microphone.
You're like, the rundown on fun. I mean, yes, EB.
Yeah. And then after that, we did drinks at the Giraffe Bar in that Serengeti overlook. So that was pretty fun. And then we closed the night on some rides, but it was a super cool group of people. I could not have asked for a better experience, especially going in not knowing anybody. I kind of meshed really well with the group. Talked to a couple people. I actually gave someone a ride from Orlando to Tampa, and they told me that they were a supervisor on a big blue roller coaster at Kings Island one year. Do it that way you will. So kind of small world, but
that's cool.
It was a super fun event. I'd recommend it to anybody.
Sounds like maybe. I mean, I don't know. We need to get together and possibly come up with something like that at Cedar Point or something. I mean, I've always thought of something like that, so it'd be kind of cool to maybe put one of those together. sometime.
Yeah, it
Just
was
an hour of ERT.
It was really cool.
Yeah, an hour in ERT of we only invite 100. An hour of ERT on Steel Vengeance. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
God,
Right?
I'd be broken after that.
And
okay, fine. An hour in ERT on Wild Mouse.
so I know that
Jeez, Carl.
I know that me, you, Justin, or the us hosts and Justin, we have a group chat that I was blowing up all day. And I said that after ERT, Iron Gwazi is my new number one. I still wholeheartedly agree with that. It is incredible. So, Evan, I know you went crazy about Pantheon, but you got to get down here and ride Iron Gwazi.
Sounds like it. Sounds like it.
I need to write it too, Kyle.
Yeah, well, you would come as well, obviously. But yeah.
But I'm curious. I'm really curious. When you you're like, I don't know, and then you're like, no, it's definitely my number one. And we're like, what?
Seems like the SeaWorld Parks coasters that were all supposed to open in 20 that ended up opening in 22 were all really out of this world rides.
Yeah.
They were. Even Icebreaker was pretty cool.
Yeah. Good stuff.
All right. So that's going to complete our show notes. However, there is one more thing that I wanted to mention. Being as close of a community as us enthusiasts are, specifically the Cedar Point regulars, one of our own just went through a very complicated surgery. Dwayne, as you all know, he finally got his donor liver.
Yes.
So just surgery went well and everything, but just keep him in your prayers for a speedy
And
recovery.
He's been waiting for years for. At least I believe it's been years for something like this.
It's been a while. And it finally happened. So that's super cool. From everything I know, the surgery went great. But it's always scary when someone that we're so familiar with and is kind of part of our coaster family goes through something like that. So just keep him in your thoughts is all.
Yep.
Absolutely.
For sure.
All right. So that is going to close out this episode. If I can find my exit music.
I was going to say, just everybody have a good Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Yeah, I cannot.
And crazy Black Friday. I know a lot of people keep messaging us being like, is Cedar Point or Kings Island going to have the Black Friday and Cyber Monday sale on Fastlane? We don't know.
We aren't in the park.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening to this week's episode. We will be back when the news permits. We don't know if it'll be next week or the week after. But regardless, we will be sure to keep you in the loop. And have a great week. Have a happy Thanksgiving, all of our listeners, and you too if I don't talk to you before then. I know for me, I'm excited to just take some time off. So,
and eat some food.
I hear you.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Favorite food.
Stuffing.
Favorite food.
Stuffing for Kyle. I'm going to have to agree. Stuffing. That's my favorite.
I'm going to say green beans. Green bean casserole.
All right. Well, you guys ran out my music. But with that being said, be kind to your ride operators. We will see you on the Midway. And have a great week, everybody. Good night.
Bye, guys. Thanks for watching.